You saved 5 minutes at a big box store, but did you just buy mold with your berries or wait an extra week for your meds? You're in the right place.
The need for that drug was just so great, so I'm so desperate for it that I just wiped any sense of risk out of my mind. The GPs made such a fuss about them being controlled.
But what's even more worrying is that these drugs often aren't even what they say they are. We sent samples to the Wedenos testing lab in Wales.
Drugs, and like the pharmacist was always like, "Oh, this is a controlled drug." And so I was really surprised that you could find them that easily on the internet and just buy them in bulk.
We're pulling back the curtain on 8 familiar chains where convenience hides sloppy storage, sodium bombs, and pharmacy mix-ups. Quick favor before we move on. If you appreciate this content, consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. Believe it or not, more than 92% of viewers haven't subscribed yet. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. So did you subscribe already? Great. Thank you so much for your support. Now back to the video.
Stocking up on groceries, especially around days when families gather like today. 10 News consumer reporter John Horn shows us how increasingly some stores are making that a challenge.
Christy Neal says it happens to her, especially when her kids see the sugary treats at the checkout line.
More characters, more colors, sounds, lights, put the toys up front.
Ever come out of a place like that and realized you've spent way too much? It's because the grocery stores know how to get you to shell out that extra cash. But you can be armed with ways to keep yourself from overspending the next time you go grocery shopping.
Stay with me as we walk aisle by aisle. The grocery cooler that runs warm overnight, the deli that skips temperature logs, the coffee shop lunch with over 1,000 milligrams of sodium, and the pharmacy line that risks the wrong pill. Then I'll show you quick checks that protect your wallet and your health. You save 5 minutes at a mega chain. The truth is, when scale outruns safety, tiny lapses stack up fast, especially if you're older and your margin for error is thinner. Let's start with the pitch you hear every day: easy aisles, one stop, low prices. What you don't hear is how those same systems strain the parts that actually protect your health. Here's the problem. Massive stores sell convenience. Seniors pay the hidden cost in grocery, deli, and pharmacy. When crews are thin and volume is high, the basics slip: time, temperature, and checks. On the floor, you see glossy signage and full cases. Back of house, it's warm deli wells, half-filled temperature logs, and a pharmacy queue that drags. A fridge that's opened all day runs warm.
Exactly according to plan. Nutritionist Laura Nemes says grocers do a lot to get more of your money beyond putting candy at the front. Placement matters. Pre-sliced cheese in the milk section can be half the price of freshly cut cheese at the deli counter. And there's a reason all those variations of Oreos and Cheerios dominate the actual aisles. Take the large displays on the end of every aisle.
Look, not always are they good buys, but it's placed there to entice you to purchase.
Now multiply that by a deli with rush hour doors and thin staffing, and you get food that never quite stays as cold or as hot as it should. Now let's move on to the big grocers. At Walmart and Kroger, freshness is often a moving target. Produce looks fine under bright lights, but in the back, pallets and coolers can hold items past their best. Pre-made salads and cut fruit sit near the edge of their sell-by times. You grab a tub that feels cool instead of cold, and that's the tell. Bakeries ship dough or frozen loaves that are baked off in-house, then sit out long enough to dry. For seniors with sensitive teeth or digestion, that dry, day-old texture isn't just disappointing. It's tougher to chew and tougher on the gut.
And inside, packs and packs of pills, but no instructions, nothing about how the medicine might interact with other drugs, and nothing about side effects.
Lily, a working mum who wants to remain anonymous, was dependent on sleeping pills and turned to these websites after her doctor refused to up her prescription.
Feeling suicidal because I couldn't get what I needed, and I couldn't sleep, and I couldn't function, and I couldn't work, and I couldn't look after my children.
Experts warn fake online pharmacies are fueling addiction.
Pharmacies tell the same story. Walgreens and Kroger counters carry heavy loads, and when staff cuts meet software changes, wait times stretch. That's when refills pile up and accuracy takes a hit. Look-alike labels and sound-alike names turn into swapped strengths or wrong counts. For anyone juggling multiple meds, a small label mismatch is not a small problem. It's a risk you don't need.
This isn't the dark web. Anyone can access these sites, no questions asked.
We uncovered dozens of fake pharmacies selling addictive pills meant to treat anxiety, insomnia, and chronic pain. They're designed to look as legitimate as possible, but promise to avoid the hassle of refilling your prescription, and say they don't ask a million questions. Site after site selling powerful prescription drugs without a prescription. Illegal to buy or sell without a doctor's prescription.
This is how they arrive. There's no international postage marks, which means it's clearly been sent from within the UK.
Dollar chains and big box hybrids bring a different trap. Dollar General's grocery shelves often run on limited staffing. Aisles get cluttered. Freezer doors don't close tight. You end up with frozen items that thaw a little, then refreeze. Ice crystals bloom. Texture goes rubbery, and safety goes questionable. Target has the upscale vibe and tidy end caps, but grocery is not always the main show. Overnight storage habits are the weak link, not the paint job. If rotation and temps aren't tight after hours, you feel it in the morning case. Fast food and coffee chains round it out. McDonald's, Starbucks, Popeyes, quick, familiar, and loaded with sodium. One meal can blow past what most adults should eat in a day. Seniors trying to keep blood pressure in check don't need that sneak attack. A lot of items are pre-cooked or reheated to keep lines moving. Busy shifts push workers to rush, so cross-contamination risks go up and coffee sits longer, turning stale before the next pot lands. You taste it in the salt and the fatigue. It's speed over care. But here's the kicker. You don't have to swear off these places. You need fast checks that act like a seatbelt. First, read timestamps on deli and grab-and-go labels. If the clock is close, pass. Second, touch test the packaging. Cold food should feel cold, not just cool. If it's borderline, it's been out too long or the case runs warm. Third, when you pick up prescriptions, verify at the counter. Say your name and date of birth out loud. Then check the drug name, the strength, and the look of the pill against what you took last month. If something changed, ask why. That's how you slow the moment and beat the system that pushes you to rush. You keep the parts you like. One trip, decent price, quick bite, and leave the risks on the shelf. Now let's walk chain by chain and show where the traps hide, what signs to trust, and the small swaps that dodge the worst without adding a dime. Speed, volume, and thin staffing are the hazards. Your defense is simple. Slow the moment. Read the label. Ask how it was stored. Cold should feel cold. Hot should be hot. If the answer sounds vague, pass. You keep control by adding 10 seconds of checks that catch the misses. If this gave you something to chew on, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who shops on autopilot. Small habits save big headaches. Next time, we put a small local market up against a big chain. Who wins on price and freshness? We test basket to basket, shelf to shelf, and see where your money lands.